So, as usual, we will start with the meditation and then we will speak a bit about trataka. So, let's get in a comfortable position first with the back straight. We relax, bringing the mind into the here and now. We are aware of what we feel, of how we are, observing the sensations in our body or the subtle sensations, the energies, the emotions, the thoughts. We bring the hands together in Anjali Mudra, a gesture that helps us to focus our awareness, our attention into the middle of the chest, a little to the right, that place that we point to when we say I. And from there we embrace everything with love, kindness, and compassion. We offer our meditation to the benefit of all sentient beings. May they all be happy, may they all be wise, may they all be kind to each other. We offer our meditation to the discovery of that mystery of existence, God seen as the essence of our being, as the essence of the universe. And now we let our hands down and we will start with the warming exercises. First, the rotation of the head. We let our chin down, rotating the head to the right, slowly with awareness. And now we change direction, rotating the head to the other side, again slowly with awareness. And now we relax, observing the sensations in our body, the relaxation in the neck. We continue by rotating the shoulders up to the back, opening the chest, bringing together the shoulder blades, then down to the front. We move with awareness without forcing it. We want to relax, to remove all the tensions in our body. And we relax. We feel the shoulders relaxed, the opening of the chest. And now we clasp our hand to the back. When we exhale, we bend forward, bringing the hands to the front. When we inhale, we get back. And we relax. We feel the back muscles relaxed, and we continue to feel that opening of the chest. We continue with the stretching to the side. Inhale, raise the hand. Exhale, stretch to the side. Inhale, raise the other hand. Exhale, stretch to the other side without forcing it. We stretch with pleasure, like in the morning after a good night's sleep. And now we relax. We are aware of the sensations in our bodies, the stretching of the side of the body. And now, again, clasping our hands, we bring them up with the palms up and we stretch the back and we did the spine, pushing the shoulders up. And then slowly we get back and we are aware of the straightening of the spine. And now we continue with the twisting of the body to the left and then to the right. Again, without forcing it, we just want to feel good. And we relax now, observing the sensations in the body, how we feel, how we are. We conclude our warming exercises with that twisting and bending. When we exhale, we bring the right shoulder to the left knee. When we inhale, we get back. Then exhale, left shoulder to the right knee. Inhale, get back. And now we relax. We are ready to meditate. So we get in a comfortable position with the back straight. Shoulders a little to the back, opening the chest in an open attitude, like we want to embrace the world with love and kindness and compassion. We find that inner balance between the firmness of the pose and relaxation so that we can remain still for a long period of time, transforming the stillness of the body into the stillness of the mind. We become aware of the breathing, the gentle movement of air in and out, calming the mind, relaxing the body. We become aware of that moment of pause, of void in between breathings, at the end of inhalation, just before exhalation starts, or at the end of exhalation, just before inhalation starts. There is a small gap, a moment of pause in which the mind is suspended in between thoughts, in between breathings. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. These short pauses in between breathings interrupt the inner stories. It helps us to become more aware of that background of silence, of quietness, of stillness, on which thoughts, emotions, sensations appear, remain for a while, and then disappear, and we continue to exist. Inhale, stillness. Exhale, stillness. Inhale, silence. Exhale, silence. in this inner silence, in this inner space of stillness called trataka, the space of the heart, we start to ask ourselves the question, who am I? The mind cannot answer because the answer is the existence itself. So we ask the question, we are the answer. Who am I? We can use everything that appears in our awareness to get back to this I am feeling, that answer to the question. When thoughts appear, we ask ourselves, who is the one thinking? Me. Who am I? When emotions appear, positive or not so positive, who is the one experiencing these emotions? Me. Who am I? And when sensations in the body arise, pleasant or not so pleasant, who is the one feeling these sensations? Me. Who am I? In this way, we get back again and again to this I am feeling that becomes a tremor of the heart, a vibrating light so intense that we can just surrender, being without being someone or something, pure existence, pure consciousness, pure bliss. Who am I? In this way, we detach ourselves from the identification with the body, with the senses, with our desires or fears, with our memories or personality. Who am I beyond all this? We ask the question, we are the answer. Who am I? Keeping the awareness of the spiritual heart, the pure I am feeling. We conclude our meditation now. We'll get back in touch with the outside world, opening the eyes. So, the subject of today's lesson is trataka, which is a traditional method for training the mind, for focusing the mind. In the classical Hatha Yoga, it's actually described in the section for purification. It's part of the so-called Shat Karma Kriyas, which means the six actions for purification, the six methods of purification. And Trataka, it's meant to purify the mind, but also the eyes. You will see why also the eyes, not just the mind, but also the eyes. In Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which is a classical Hatha Yoga book, in the chapter 2, Sutra 31, uh, Tratakam is defined in this way: to look with a fixed gaze, with the fixed eyes, with the mind calm and focused to an object which is very small and simple until tears appears in the eyes. This is called trataka by the sages, by the wise ones. So again, looking with fixed eyes without blinking, this is the idea, with the mind calm and focused to an object which is small and simple until tears appear in our eyes. So I will detail each thing, but this is the definition in Tratakam. And in these books, they actually combine Trataka, or consider that Trataka is helping us to be more prepared for Shambhavi Mudra. We learned about Shambhavi Mudra in Pratyahara when we spoke about keeping the senses under our control, our capacity to focus our senses to what we want. But Shambhavi Mudra is more than just an exercise to Pratyahara, because, like, if you remember, Shambhavi is described that keeping the eyes open, the awareness is in the heart. So Tratakam, it's about keeping the eyes open, but we can combine it with Shambhavi, keeping the awareness into the heart, even if the eyes are open. But in the practice of Tratakam, we are interested in helping the mind to become more concentrated, more focused. In the Sanskrit language, Tratakam means to look with a focused and sustained attention. There are actually two ways to practice Tratakam. One is called Bahiranga, which means external trataka, and the other is called Antaranga, which is internal trataka. And the difference is the object on which we focus our awareness, our attention. If it's an external object, then it's Bahiranga, it's external trataka. If it's something in our mind, it's Antaranga, because we can create in our mind something very simple like a light or a circle or a triangle or anything like this, and focus our mind with the eyes closed on that internal object. But sure, Antaranga, it's usually practiced as a follow-up to Bahiranga. So after we practice with the eyes open, when the eyes become tired or we cannot keep them open anymore, then we continue with the internal trataka. So in Hatha Yoga Pradipika, the thing that we look to, it's called, it can be a very small point of light, and then it's shukshma, the word that is used, signifies in the same time small, very small, but also subtle. So something that is beyond the physical realm. So it has these two meanings. The object that we focus our gaze, our eyes, it's a very simple object we can use, and I think sometimes before you practice a practice that was called Shambhavi Mudra but wasn't the classical Shambhavi Mudra, when you use the ping pong ball to look at it. Yes? You practice this? So this is actually tratakam, to look at the very small object but very simple object like that ping pong ball. But also you can use something with spiritual significance. So for this reason, some masters, and we will practice together next week, tratakam with the flame of a candle. Yes, you understand the candle light. So the flame of a candle, it's used because the flame is in the same time an object, it's very small, but in the same time it's very subtle because it's light. It's not something physical, some object that has density. Light is almost immaterial. And then after we look at the flame of a candle, on our retinas will remain an impression. So when we close the eyes, we continue to see that impression, so we can practice in the same time the external tratakam, Bahiranga tratakam, and the internal tratakam, which is Antaranga tratakam. But also you can use like an Om, the design of an Om, or you know the design of an Om, the mantra Om, Om, yes? So the representation of an Om that is put on a paper, but the Om to be like small, not a big Om, but a small Om. You can use a point, like a black point on a white paper, because the contrast, the difference between the black and the white help us the mind be more focused. You can use a small statue, but when we use a statue, it becomes a bit more more complicated and is not so simple. But usually, traditionally, they use the symbols for tattvas. So a square, a small square, a half moon, or a triangle, or a circle, or an ellipsoid, or like an egg shape. So, and they can use this by uh, being colored in the tattva colors. So the square being orange or earth-like color, the uh, half moon being like silvery, the triangle being red or such. Uh, these are called actually dharana mudras, the attitudes for concentration. When you concentrate on the symbols of the tattvas, and then you use also the symbolism of the tattva. So you look at the square, but you think about the density of the earth and the weight and all the things. But this is beyond our scope, because we want to use tratakam not for the spiritual things, but more for the training to the mind to be one pointed, focused to one thing. In Gheranda Samhita, the other famous book about yoga, classical book about Hatha yoga, Tratakam is described in the chapter 1 like this, in the sutras 53, 54. Look without blinking to a small object until tears appear. This is called by the wise ones Tratakam. Practicing this yoga are obtained the siddhis, the supernatural powers of Shambhavi. The illness of the eyes are cured gradually, and you can attain clairvoyance. So this is how uh, Gheranda Samhita describes Tratakam. And in Hatha Yoga Pradipika, it's also said that Tratakam uh, eliminates all the illness of the eyes and removes laziness. So if you are lazy, you can use Tratakam to become less lazy. She has to be kept secret, like a box full of jewelries. So usually in these old books they speak about this secrecy. Please, you have to keep the practice secret, not to brag about it, because in this way it's more powerful. If you speak, oh, how wonderful I am because I practice this, then you lose the potency of the practice. So let's let's describe more in detail how the practice is. We will not do it today because I I didn't tell you to bring a candle to do this, and I didn't bring the candle. But next time we will practice it before meditation, because good it's a good practice before meditation. It helps the mind calm down and be focused. So usually it's good to practice it for 10 to 15 minutes. Not too long, but not too short. And the object that you look at, again, it's good to be at an arm's length. So, like, it's here the object, and the distance from your eyes is like an arm length, yes? And it's in front of you. Some recommends to have the object at the height of your forehead, but when I practice, I prefer to be a little bit lower so the eyes will not strain too much. When the object is higher up, then your eyes becomes a little bit strained. Sure, after you get used to the practice, you can use this height looking a bit higher up, but at first, to just practice and get used to, let the object be a little bit down in front of you so that your eyes look at it relaxed. Because in this practice, it's important to look at the object without blinking. We spoke about it in Shambhavi Mudra, but in Shambhavi Mudra's case, we don't look at anything. We just keep the eyes open. In this case, we focus our gaze, our eyes, we focus them on the object. In our case, we will use the candle flame, the flame of a candle. So it's important to have the eyes relaxed enough. And like I said, it's important not to blink. So keep the eyes open as long as we can. The Gheranda Samhita and Hatha Pradipika said that keep the eyes open until tears appear. So the reason for the tears is quite simple. The eyes become dry, so the body will secrete tears to moisten the eyes. So it's not some kind of mystery, but the way in which tears appear in your eyes will help the eyes to become more pure, and this is the reason. But if your eyes hurt and it's difficult to keep them open, then you can close your eyes for a few moments, relax them, and open them again, but try to blink in this way with awareness, not just open and close them without knowing. But if you keep them open. When you close them with awareness, slowly close your eyes, relax them, and such. You can also, to alleviate the pain or the strain in your eyes, that practice in which you friction your palms together until they become very warm, and then place the hands over your eyes and feel the warmth from your palms transferring to your eyes. This is very relaxing for the eyes. And the practice, like you see, is very, very simple. The difficulty is in keeping your mind and your eyes focused on the object. Like I said, is a practice for concentration, for dharana. So you have to keep the mind quiet and focused. For sure, at first, your mind will create a story. Oh, what a nice flame, what interesting it is, what a nice color or something. But you have to just look without think about anything, just look. And for sure, at first it's a bit difficult. You look, but your eyes hurt, your mind wanders, and it's a mess. But if you persevere and continue to just look, it's like flipping a switch. Something happens if you persevere, and it's like a kind of intimacy with the flame. It's like you become one. It's a bit cliche, but it's like you become one with the flame. It's like you understand the flame. And you will see that in that moment you can keep the eyes open without effort, without strain, and the mind focus without effort. And that is the moment when you actually practice trataka. And because we practice hridaya, our awareness, we will try to keep it in the heart. It's like we try to look not with the eyes, but with the heart through the eyes. And this brings more depth, more profoundness to this practice, because it's not just about looking, but about understanding, about uh, feeling with the heart. Yes. So you will see again next week we will start the meditation with this, and you will understand maybe more through the practice. But again, is that simple? When we look at the flame, we will look at the uh, part which is blue inside the yellow flame. It's a part that is very blue. It's bluish. Let's say like this. It's bluish. In the middle of the flame is the part which is the hottest part of the flame, and we will look at that which is surrounded by the yellow flame. It's better to use a candle that is burning stable, without some candles are sputtering and the flame is flickering and is bigger, smaller and such. So it's good to find a flame that is constant and to be in a place without uh, air moving, so without currents, so the flame will not flicker too much. For sure, it will be some flickering, and don't worry about it. It's a bit more challenging for the mind, but don't worry about it. Uh, the the trataka with the flame is not recommended if you had epilepsy. You know, epilepsy is the kind of seizures that appear when you look at flickering lights. You you know about epilepsy, or you understand about epilepsy. So if you know that you have it or some relative of you have this, maybe not try this, or when you are alone, try to be with someone, because if the seizure starts, then it's better to have someone to help you. But if you don't have history about this, then don't worry, and it's fine. But if you have epilepsy or you want to recommend this practice to someone that needs to focus his mind or train his mind to be more concentrated, and you know that it had or some relative of his have this epilepsy, then it's better to work with a small object like the ping pong ball or black point on the white sheet of paper or something like this. When you practice with the candle flame, it's better to practice it uh, in the dark environment, so not in a bright day light in the room. If you are in the during the day, maybe uh, take the shades or put the shades, or not to be too bright, because then is not so much of a contrast between the flame and the environment. Again, at the beginning, when you are expert in tratakam, it doesn't matter because you will be very focused, but at the beginning is better in a darkish environment, or having in the back a background which is darker, so that the flame will be more obvious. And it helps that if you don't have too many objects surrounding the flame, because usually the mind will tend to grasp the things that surrounds the flame. Again, when you are becoming more practiced in tratakam, will not matter so much because you will get used to this. Uh, the reason that we want to use something with spiritual experience, spiritual significance, like the candle flame, is because this help us to open our heart to subtle realms. The candle flames is a symbol of the light, of the warmth, of the transformation, because the fire transforms everything and such. So it's not just about looking at some object. And even if we look at the ping pong ball, the sphere, it's also a spiritual object of perfection, of unity and such. So try to keep in mind this spiritual significance, not just an object, but an object with something behind it. Even if it's a black point, the point signifies the unity, the one without second, it's this expression. So keep this kind of reverence towards that object, even if it's a small and apparently insignificant object. Try to have this kind of background in your mind that it has some kind of spiritual significance. Uh, I will also present you like a small yantra. We will speak about yantras also as a tool for concentration in the next lesson. And you will see there is a yantra that you can use it like a small object that helps concentrate with her form. But again, we will speak more about yantras in the next meeting. So in the next meeting, we'll have uh, more things to it. We will start with Ratakam, we will continue with meditation. At the end, we will speak about yantras and how we can use them to train for concentration, and why sometimes it's even better than just a simple object. If you have questions now.
I would like to ask it when the warming up exercises at the beginning, when we, it's, I thought of it today. We just do when we do this with the shoulders, we just do it in one way for any special reason.
No, again, it's just yes, it's just a warming exercise, and we do it like this because it's what we do usual. When you stay a little bit doing something, yeah, then you want to open your chest and you do this, is just for this reason. So when you meditate for a long period of time, you tend to strain your shoulder. Then you want to open your chest, and this is the reason. So it's not an esoteric one. Yeah, it's just the simple. We want to do it. Yeah, we want to do it like we usually do it when we want to relax the shoulders. Yes. So for this reason, we don't do it in the other sense. I think in some retreats, Hajananda, when he presented this warming exercise, he also do it in the other way. But you will see, it's not the same. It's not quite natural to do it, bring it in this way, like when you do it this, because usually when you stay focused on something, you want to open your chest.
To do the contrary. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And they are meant just to relax the body and try to remove some kind of tension that usually is in the body without us noticing it. So we just want to have the body relaxed.
Thank you.
Then we will stop here. So thank you for participating and see you next